Blog Talk Radio.
Everyone, stop! The show's about to start. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of No Conduct Radio. So far, we have Kai, Logic, and BJ. We already know where Shar is, so we're going to start without her as usual. How is everyone doing tonight?
Good. All right.
That's it? That's all I get?
Yep. Yeah.
Good Lord. Okay, then. I guess I'll be the excited one for all of y'all. So, I'm not going to say this excellent news until Shar gets on the line. So, we're going to have to wait a couple days for that one. But I have some good news for our hosts and our listeners, even though the hosts don't know it. So you're finding this out with them. Today we're going to talk about... Basically, I forgot to tell y'all what happened in Florida, so I'm really going to tell y'all this time because somebody keeps asking me. Like, only one listener is just really interested. One listener out of all of y'all keep bugging me about what happened in Florida and why did I miss that show at the beginning of October. So I'm going to tell you the story. Remember October 5th, we didn't do the show? You forgot? Anybody?
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, anyway, October 5th, we didn't do the show. So, I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about which way do you put on your bra. Just off-the-wall thoughts. And we're going to talk about do you think many women are whores nowadays because their fathers are not in their lives? We're going to answer a couple relationship questions, and we're going to ask and answer the question about, are black women really queens? So that's our show for tonight.
What was that again?
Are black women really queens? So we're going to discuss that tonight. So I guess I'll get into the story of Florida. And if Shar isn't here by the end of that story, then we're going to go ahead and give away the good news. So she'll just be asked out, so I guess. So anyways, what happened in Florida? So we were supposed to have the radio show on the 5th. That was the day I was in Orlando, and I was going to actually do the show live from Orlando and live stream and everything. I had everything planned out. When I got there, everything went smoothly until I went to get my rental car. Don't use, Ace rental cars. Do not use those people. They are the worst. So by the time 6 o'clock rolled around, I was steady cussing somebody out. I was so mad it wasn't even funny. They added on an extra $300 charge, $300 or $400 charge that wasn't initially in the price because I had reserved it. So they added on money that wasn't in the price. They could only take certain cards. They could only do this. They could only do that. So it was like,
where do you find this?
I look. Expedia.com. So I really wanted to just turn around and leave, but then I don't like relying on people to come pick me up from the airport and come do this and come do that. I like being able to be, to do whatever I want to do. I want to be able to go here at this time. So I didn't want to rely on somebody else with their car. So I ended up, I think around 6 o'clock was when I was telling these people. I brought my receipt from the internet, and I said, every single charge you have on here that's not on this initial receipt, you're going to take it off. You're going to take it off now, and you're going to give me this price that's on this receipt. right now. So I was in the middle of, like, intimidating and cussing people out when the radio show rolled around. And even if I would have come on after the after the time, I was way too angry to even do the radio. I wouldn't have sounded like me. I was way too angry. So we just canceled that radio show because Ace Rental Cars. Remember that name, and they're a local car rental place in Orlando. Ace Rental Cars. Do not use them.
Wow.
And that is my tip of the day. So that's basically what happened.
That's crazy.
I mean, if y'all have ever had any horror stories, like traveling horror stories, where you got there and whatever your your reservation was made, but I don't know, maybe they canceled it, or you got to the room and it didn't look like the brochure or something like that, reach out to us. Send us an email, send us a story, noconductradio@gmail.com, or put it on our Facebook page, No Conduct Radio. That would be interesting to hear because this is the first travel nightmare I've had personally. So it would be interesting to hear your travel nightmares. So, Char's here finally.
Who?
Who? So, hi, BJ. No, it's not like BJ said. Who? Hi, guys.
Hello.
So,
hello.
Char, you travel a lot. Have you had any travel nightmares stories to tell us?
Just always. As a matter of fact, there was a recent one, and they credited me. Southwest credited me a $100 voucher just last week, in fact. You guys know I went back to New Mexico, a month ago? And they changed my flight my flight was delayed an hour. Make a long story short, the flight was delayed an hour. You know that happens. So I inquired at the counter, was it due to weather? I was told no. I said, okay, whatever. Then once it was delayed, I noticed they also changed the gate an hour after that. And they literally moved the entire gate from C4 to C24. So all these people are grumbling and upset, grumbling upset. They're like, oh, da, da, da. And I'm just sitting there by myself. And I'm like, why am I the only one just still sitting here? I asked 2 ramp agents and one of the desk agents or whatever they're called. And I said, am I supposed to move? Am I supposed to move, to C24? Am I supposed to walk down? They're like, no. You're going to New Mexico. You're fine. And so I'm like, are you sure? And literally, it doesn't feel right. So I asked one other time. 15 minutes later, I asked someone else. They're like, no, those people are going to Arizona. Long story short, something told me, Shar, this is not right. So I finally asked a gate agent that's literally the person that escorts you to go on the plane, except there was no one there. There's no passengers or anything. And I said, okay, what's happening with the flight to New Mexico? He goes, that flight to New Mexico is in the air right now. They're on their way to Albuquerque in 20 minutes. I mean, they'll be there. They'll be landed. Yes, and I'm like, what? Because I was sitting there on my laptop waiting patiently to get on my flight. So immediately when I told – yeah, by myself. And when I told the desk agent, she says, oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry. We do apologize. Can you believe that? They got me on another flight, but unfortunately I was 4 hours late for a meeting because I had to literally transfer in L.A. I mean, in other words, I'm going backwards, if that makes any sense. So, but they did credit me. I spoke with customer relations, and they credited me, but it was still a headache, and that didn't happen for almost a month because I had to explain the story over and over to the right people. So, yes. But that was just recently, and I just was so unnecessary.
How long did you sit in that terminal to find out you wasn't flying to New Mexico?
Well, keep in mind the flight was already delayed an hour to an hour and a half, so I already had to sit an additional hour to hour and a half anyway. Then it was an additional 45 minutes after that by myself. Okay, that's when I was by myself. Before there was still people there.
Okay, yeah. 45 minutes while you was by yourself. It was just like nobody there. This you.
Absolutely no one except the ramp agent, I guess, the desk agent.
So you thought you was in a private, the airplane area.
Oh, on the awaiting my private jet. Of course I was.
Yeah,
DJ.
You thought you was on a private jet. Yeah. That's on the side of the airport.
Absolutely. Yeah. But the thing is, why would I walk down? No, but why? Wait, I'm sorry. What was your question?
Why didn't you walk down? Everybody else did. Just
because they just told me no. No, BJ, They told me no. 2 different agents said, ma'am, those people are going to Arizona. You're going to New Mexico. Stay right there. You are fine. And I didn't believe the first agent, so I asked I asked one other one. They said the same thing. Finally, another 30 minutes goes by, and I asked the person at the gate to escort you onto the plane, except there's no passengers. And I'm like, what? And so he says, ma'am, that plane is on its way to Albuquerque. That took off 20 minutes ago.
So one of our listeners messaged in. They said, didn't you find it strange that you were the only one there?
Absolutely. That's why I inquired 3 times, because I did find it strange. But if 3 agents tell you you are fine, those people are going to Arizona, you're going to New Mexico, stay right where you are fine, what would you do? I mean, I've been the only one at my gate before.
I asked somebody. I asked somebody else.
I'm asking somebody else. I'm
yeah.
not just sitting there.
I asked 3 different people. But I asked 3 different agents. It wasn't like the same person.
In the same terminal, right?
Yeah, but if you go to another terminal, they're not going to help you. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm not walking down to C-24. But if I don't have to walk down to C-24 with my bags, and they're specifically saying
you have to go to C-24. You could have been to C-13 or something. Whatever. You have information somewhere.
No, BJ, no one else. BJ, no one else is going to have information about your flight except for that airline. The other terminals are different.
Oh, gee. Where do you fly out of? What airport you fly out of?
No, it was. I love Southwest too. It was Southwest. I love Southwest actually. It didn't give me a black eye. I didn't feel like there's a black eye with Southwest because I love Southwest and I will continue to do business with them. But for me to be that late for the meeting and have to reschedule my meeting, literally I'm flying back on the 23rd of November, and that's on their dime, by the way, or at least going up. It's on their dime. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, it didn't feel right, but it was already delayed anyway, so I'm already thrown off, like, oh, well, maybe it's because, it's delayed an hour. And it wasn't weather, so I'm like, okay, well, mechanical, what's going on? So they apologized. When I spoke with the people in customer relations, they apologized profusely because they said it was absolutely 100,000% not my fault. It was a total miscommunication with the ramp agents, what information they were told. You know what I mean? And even that's why they gave me a new flight so quickly. But by that time, it didn't matter because they're rerouting me all the way to LA.
Okay, so BJ, do you have any horror stories, traveling horror stories?
No, I don't.
Everything always goes smoothly for you?
Yep.
Wow, lucky you.
Well, I was having a good streak. This was the first time, like I said. Logic, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, nothing out of the ordinary, just the average stuff where, like I think it was 2002. I think 2002 was the last time I ever allowed myself to fly economy if it was anything over 5 hours. Because I was coming back from Switzerland, and it was just horrendous. It was more of people invading my space. It was these foreign people in the back that kept farting, thinking. You know what I mean? Then it was the guy that keeps getting up and going up to the where your bag, your stowaway, and kept getting something out of this bag instead of getting everything he needed and just sitting down. He just every 20 minutes he just kept getting up, getting something else, kept getting up, putting this back, getting something else. Kind of like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he was dropping stuff, and I was just done. I said never again.
Yeah,
so
economy.
After that,
yeah. Never that.
Oh wow.
After that, it was.
So what's it like in first class?
It's much more spacious.
Yep.
Everybody got their own little area. I never saw more than 2 seats in
Yep,
class.
that's true.
And
but
you get nice meals. Don't you get delicious meals too? Like really like good gourmet food?
I don't know what it's been a while since I went economy, so I don't know if the meals are different.
Well, okay.
Wow.
No, I'm not even funny. I don't know if they eat.
Must be nice.
But like if you're on transatlantic flights, you definitely get a different dinner. But domestic, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, they have to feed you on a long flight anyway if you're going abroad or international. But when you're in first class, even if you were just going to Texas, I mean, they still first class has its privileges. You might be offered some champagne. You may have a nice, meal or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Well, what is Switzerland like? That's what I want to know. What is Switzerland like? I mean, wow, a lot of people will never have the opportunity to visit there.
It is beautiful. I was living in this city called Lausanne, and there's two different parts. There's like two different sides of Switzerland. There's the most of it might be most of it is French. There is a part that is kind of French and German, but Lausanne is the French part. And you know the Avion water that people drink, stuff like that. Yeah, that's the lake that's at Lausanne, Avion.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
And then right across the lake is France, and you see the Alps and stuff like that. It's
the Alps,
gorgeous.
yeah. I was just going to ask, is that water coming from the Alps, from the ice cold glacier water, not glacier, but ice cold mountain water that's coming down? Do you think that's where it comes from?
Well, yeah, spring water. Yeah. So
oh wow, that's awesome.
So it's gorgeous out there. I loved it.
What about the language?
Yeah, I gotta visit.
You have to learn French.
You said the what?
What about the language? Do many people speak English, or do you know French, or were you able to speak their dialect enough to get around it?
I don't know much French, but you can get by. I mean, anywhere you go, you can get by. I mean, there's usually going to be a person or two that speaks English, but even if you don't, even if it is not, like when I used to go to the bakery, nobody spoke English, but you can, hey, let me get that. Can I what's this? Can I get one of these? You can get through it. They speak French.
Right. Draw pictures. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to visit Switzerland. I know. Well, I don't know if I want to travel that far by myself, though. That's the only thing. So I don't know, but I do need to visit Switzerland. I lived in Germany. I love Germany. I want to move back to Germany. And if I can make it happen, then I am definitely doing it. But I've never been outside of Germany. I have family in England, but I've never been there. And I want to go to so many places I just haven't been. And people waste their lives saying that they want to go places, and then they just work. That's all you do is just work. Yeah, you don't have time to do anything you want to do. It takes time and money. When you have the money, you don't have the time. When you have the time, you don't have the money.
That's what a bucket list is.
I just told a friend of mine that I was telling him about this cruise that they have in Europe, where it goes down the Rhine River and it visits like 7 different countries and the mountains and the castles and stuff like that. So and he was like, yeah, I would like to do that. Now he's over 50, but every year he keeps going back to Orlando. It's like, why do you keep going there?
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean? Just, hold off on that trip for a year or two, and you'll have the money to take a flight. I don't know.
Yeah, well, he's not serious about it. He's not serious about it.
Yeah, but a lot of people have a safety zone.
But some people make things intangible in their mind. Like look at how many people fantasize about being in crazy shape, like Schwarzenegger, or I don't know who the pinnacle of physical shape is for women, but you could do that easily if you just took the time to dedicate yourself. Like anybody, I don't care what unless you're morbidly obese, you're like 600-700 pounds, it's going to take you some time to get there. But if you're mildly overweight, even if it's 100 pounds overweight, if you dedicate yourself for a year, just a year, and you have that, if you stay on it and you go to the gym at least 3-4 times a week, and you stay on your diet, you will look like a completely different person. In 3 months. That's all it will take. It's 12 weeks. 12 weekends. And you'll look like a totally different person.
Yep. 3 months. 90 days.
All right. I agree with Logic, but people don't put in time for anything, really, anything. They just don't put in the time. I think people have just really gotten lazy. You want to do something and then you come home, sit on the couch and turn on the TV. You know what I'm saying? People don't really put in the time or effort to do anything anymore. And I can't blame society because you have to take responsibility for yourself. But what I want to say is people have become just lazy and dependent upon the nice things that we have, TV, internet. You don't have to go out and do anything anymore. You could actually have food brought to you. You don't have to even go out and get the food. You really don't have to cook anymore. Like, people have just really become lazy slobs.
Super lazy.
But let's move on. Let's move on real quick. So since we have everybody here, I want to discuss the great news. And I wish I had a drum roll because I would definitely say drum roll, please. All right, so this is breaking news for the hosts and our listeners, and I'm so happy and excited to report that our show, I submitted our show to iHeartRadio, and it took some time, but they did like our show, and we are now on iHeartRadio. Yay!
Are you serious?
So we're going to be
awesome.
on iHeartRadio.
Oh, my God. Yay!
So it's going to take a couple days. I just got word that this is happening. It's going to take a couple days, but in a couple days our show will be featured on iHeartRadio. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that. And in celebration of that, I redid the website. That's a good thing about me being able to build websites. I can constantly change it. So today I sat down and rebuilt the website. So you can go to our website, www.noconduct.com, and tell me what you think about the new website. It's not completely done, but it's basically 75% done, and I'll be finishing it up tonight. So that's how I congratulated us, our panel of hosts, and our listeners on being accepted to iHeartRadio. Couldn't have done it without our listeners because if we only had like 2 listeners, we wouldn't have been accepted there. So couldn't have done it without y'all. So thank you for listening. Keep listening. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your grandma, tell your greasy girlfriend, whatever. Tell everybody about us.
Tell your hoish girlfriends. Tell your your thieving, conniving friends.
And Char on Facebook, Char, CHAR.
Hoish girlfriend. Yeah.
All right. So I was really excited when I was sent the news. So yeah, we're getting bigger. We're getting bigger.
I got a question though.
Yes.
What's iHeartRadio?
Are you kidding, Logic?
Really? Oh my God.
He really is serious. Oh my God.
It's a huge radio station where famous people their podcasts live, like Kevin and Bean. What is that? What's his name again?
Steve Harvey. He's on there too. The Steve Harvey show's on there too.
Steve Harvey, but that's not who I was thinking about. It's somebody else. He has a podcast. He's had a podcast on there for a while.
There's so many people.
Look it up, iHeartRadio.com.
Yeah.
You can't be accepted. They don't just accept you just because you have a podcast. Let me put it that way.
Right.
So, yeah, we were accepted there, so I'm so excited about that. Apparently, listeners are appalled that you just asked that question, Logic.
I mean, I thought he was kidding. I thought he was joking. But Logic doesn't joke a lot, so I'm like, well, he's really serious. Poor baby. He honestly never heard of iHeart.
Oh, that's iHeartRadio.
Yeah, Logic. Where did you get that? Logic doesn't joke a lot.
He doesn't. He seems rather serious. I mean, not only that, but
where you been at?
Well, his jokes are more like not funny, more like funny, peculiar.
Anyway, what were you gonna say, Logic?
I was just saying, so I gather that iHeartRadio is what you peasants use to listen to entertainment, I guess.
Oh, so what do people like Logic use?
It must be XM radio.
I just use my servants to put on a show for me. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Wow, no, we don't have it like that. We actually listen to the radio.
Your court gestures come out and offer grapes and stand on their head and all kinds of nibbles.
And I applaud by tapping my cane on the floor.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we don't have it like you, Logic. Sorry, we peasants do listen to like the radio and podcasts and stuff like that. I think if I asked somebody to perform for me, they might slap me. So
has any of you ever gone to like a play?
Have we what?
I mean that's yeah. Have any of you ever gone to a play?
Yeah.
Because for some reason people get the idea like that's like upscale, like you went to a play. Like,
no, I've gone to plays. I've gone to plays, ballets, operas.
Yeah.
Right.
Operas, ballets.
You've been to an opera?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, my mother was an opera singer on stage, so that's right up my alley too. She was.
Hold on. Your mother was in the Native American opera at the.
No, I didn't say that. Oh my God!
I didn't even know they did that.
First of all, my mother is not full Native American. She's African American and Native American. My father's Native American, Black and Irish. So no, she was a Black woman that sang opera. Believe it or not.
Three parents? I don't understand.
Well,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, because you have two grandparents on each side. Did you ever think of that? Yes, you do. So everybody has three parents, unless they're dead. Everyone has actually four. You have your mother, your father, your grandmother, and your grandfather. So that's that.
No, wait. You said your mother was half Native American.
My mother is African American or Black, and technically they're Sudanese. Her family, that part of her family is from the Sudan, so they're technically very Nubian. Okay, the other half of her family.
Sudan.
The actual Sudan, yes, absolutely,
wow.
yes.
Not
and the other half, the Native American side is from the reservation, and then then my other parent is my father, and my father's his father's family is Irish, and then his other family is Native American and Black, and they know that they are.
Okay, let me chart this. Your mother's people traveled from Sudan to the United States, and then one of them got with a Native American. Then your father's people traveled from Ireland and went somewhere in the United States and got with Native American people as well. And then those
and a Black person, probably raped the wench back in the day, because they were slave owners.
Wait, Shar, put the break on for a second. So they went from Ireland, came to America, found a Native American, and then somewhere along there, that Native American and Irish person found a Black person, and then they produced your father, who then found another half Native American and something else, and they produced you. That's what you're saying?
Wow.
The white family
on days like this, I wish I had a sick note.
The white family were slave masters. They were slave masters originally. Okay, first of all, how do we get on this? All I said was that my mother was an opera singer.
You brought it up.
I just said she was an opera singer. I didn't say anything about her background or culture.
Yeah, and you said that you was grown up on a reservation, so I said I didn't know that Indians put on opera. That's what I said.
No, but the whole point is, how are we even on that right now? We're not even on that. I simply just said she was an opera singer. I did not. I said she's an opera singer. What does it have to do with her background? I didn't say you said, a Native American opera singer. That's what you said. And I'm like, what?
I said I didn't know that they did operas on the reservation.
Okay,
said,
so
my mother is half
you didn't say that. You didn't say that. You asked me to explain the lineage, and so you specifically said, a Native American opera singer in a facetious tone, might I add.
That your parent was half this, half that, and
add.
you put in Irish. I didn't understand how you can have three dashes of anything in one
You
person.
can have four. I mean, everybody has a mother, a father, and then a grandparent, a grandmother, grandfather. So what? And a lot of people are raised by their grandparents. They're still a parent. What does that matter? The point is stick with the topic at hand.
You know what's funny?
We're talking about
BJ,
people
BJ,
that go
you know,
to plays, people that go to operas. Why do you always try to make something to be something else? Why do you have to make everything to be something else? Why do you have to make everything be something else? Why do you have to make everything be something else, Logic? Why do you have to make everything be something else? I know what I am. My family talks about it all the time, but I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about opera. That's it. It has nothing to do with anything else. You want it to be something else. You are not talking about that. I don't have to clarify it right now because this is not genealogy. This is not genealogy whatever.com, or this is not your genealogy whatever. This is not that. This is not DNAtest.com or nothing like that. Okay, so get over yourself. We're talking about the fact that she was a black woman who sang opera. That's very unusual in itself. If anything, you think you would have focused on that because that's very rare. And to sing opera, you sing in several languages.
Is very unusual.
Yeah,
Thank you. It is, and you have to sing in several languages as well. You sing in several languages fluently as well.
I would like the public to see
how,
again, a woman like her will make the same point 7 or 8 times but continue to talk.
Because there is no need for you to try to get off on some other tangent.
So
and I'm
just
shutting you down. I'm just shutting you down. I'm shut. Next. Move along. Let's segue. Segue.
Are we done now?
To the rest
are we finished?
Thank you. Segue.
To the rest of the panel, raise your hand. It's amazing that she had a Native American and black mother that was an opera singer.
What does it matter? We're not even talking about that right now. If anybody wants to see my background, they can go to noconduct.com. If they want to see my background, Kai actually put some very informative information on there.
But
if you want to know a little bit more about the Native American, if you would like to know the Native American side, you can listen to the first show. You can listen to my first introduction on No Conduct if you want to hear a little more. And Kai asked me to talk about the Native American aspect of how I grew up. That's there. Now let's move it along, people. I'm sure that they'd like to hear a lot more about a lot of other things. Thank you.
Okay. Are you sure you don't want to say move it along for a 5th time? Because I heard the first 4 times.
Segue, Tonto.
Tonto? What?
Okay, then. So.
Hold up.
I'm telling you.
Okay, well, anyway, off of that.
This is a beautiful presentation of what we're talking about. How women don't know when to stop.
No, it has nothing to do with women at all. It has nothing to do with that.
And over.
There is
and
no
I'm telling
point.
You, and the reason that this is very important is because when you hear women say, there's never a reason ever for you to ever put your hands on it. This is why women get thrown down a flight of stairs or they get pushed out of the way of a door because they don't.
Because women get thrown downstairs because we're talking about opera and you want to make it into something else, and that's your problem. That has nothing to do with me. So, if you're a male chauvinist and you don't think a woman can speak her mind and open her mouth when she needs to, and when she wants to say something, you don't think that. You think that when a woman opens her mouth, it's not important. You think a woman's just bad. That's what you think. You do. You think it's not important. You think that when a woman opens her mouth, she's talking a whole lot of gibberish. That's not always true, Logic. That is not always true. We are talking about culture. When people go to a show such as an opera show, some people consider that to be culture, something culture to do. And it's very unusual for a black woman, no matter what mix that she is, to even be in that environment and have that experience, or even to have that career. You have to know several languages and speak them very fluently and sing in them. So that's what you should have been focused on. But your priorities are all twisted, aren't they? So let's get our priorities in order.
Okay.
And let's
are we done here?
Okay,
we got it. We got it. Your mom sang opera. So it's a bunch of different languages. All right. Anyway, so moving along. I do want to congratulate. I do have to point this out. I want to congratulate last week's winner for the $25 restaurant gift card, Tanikia of South Carolina. So congratulations on that. I hope you enjoy your dinner wherever you're going.
Olive Garden.
We didn't do. I don't know what she said. We didn't do a contest this week. However, between this Thursday and next Thursday, our next contest is going to be on Instagram. It's called Breaking the Stereotype. And because this is Logic's idea, I'm going to have him explain to you what kind of pictures we're looking for on Instagram. Go ahead, Logic.
But naked.
I don't remember this idea. I put this up.
Oh my God! Sometimes we really suck.
And this is why we were accepted to iHeartRadio, y'all.
Oh my God!
Okay,
that's an epic fail, guys. Epic fail.
We're looking for your photos on Instagram. It's going to be #Breaking the Stereotype or #BTS. What we're looking for is, like, I don't know, an Asian that, how people stereotype on Asian that they only know math. So an Asian that does other things that's not in the stereotype of what, I guess, would it be Americans think that? Because I don't know anybody else who thinks that. Or a relationship, I don't know, you met one day into your relationship, you knew that's who you wanted to be with, and you've been with that person ever since, faithful, no issues, no breaking up, and you're happily together, married or whatever, you're happily together. Or, Logic, do you remember this now?
Yeah, I remember. It was something like, I think what I saw, it was, oh, God, what was it? I think it was like this race car driver that was going through this obstacle course, and it turned out to be like this Asian dude. And I was like, well, I said, it's funny how people, have these stereotypes, but, there got to be tons of people that just don't fit the normal thing that they think, like, oh, it's probably, people say, well, Asians can't drive, or, white people don't have rhythm, and then you'll see, like, some breakdancing white person that's killing it, and you're like, no rhythm, huh? So that's what it was based on,
Or, like, for instance, a woman who's a football player or, like, a real sports player, however, she's still feminine and she's not gay, because that's a stereotype. If you're a real sports player, then you must be gay if you're a woman. You're not gay, you're really feminine, you're a real hardcore sports player, and you don't play, like they have that, lingerie football? You don't do stuff like that. You don't degrade yourself. Stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for. #Breaking the Stereotype on Instagram. We're going to have it up on Instagram after tonight's show, and the contest will run between this Thursday, the 26th, and the 2nd of November. And we'll choose our winner.
You're making it a contest?
Yeah, the best. Yeah, we have to choose one person.
Okay, but guys, speaking of contest. Yeah, but speaking of contest,
we're not going to say, like, the best stereotype breaker or anything like that, because we're just trying to show the world you can't put anybody in a box. You can't stereotype. But what we're going to do is just randomly choose from everyone who put in their pictures, and we'll announce the winner next Thursday.
Okay, so speaking of contest, Kai, what I was saying is our first winner, the kickoff last week, what she actually did receive is a Olive Garden gift certificate. That's what I was saying earlier. So that's what she received, is Olive Garden. So congratulations again. What is her name again, the winner?
Danikia. And I said of South Carolina. She actually wrote in and corrected me. She's of North Carolina, so I apologize for that.
Okay. All right.
So,
all right. Well, enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy. I haven't been to Olive Garden in years. Oh, my God. I used to eat there a lot, but I haven't been there in years.
It's very good. There's lots of specials. It's delicious every time I go.
I haven't been there in years. I go to Red Lobster. I know Red Lobster is not the classiest of places, but I love the biscuits. I love the biscuits, and I love their chocolate cake. Oh, love the chocolate cake so much.
She's like, oh.
I might want to go to Red Lobster and get some chocolate cake tonight. That sounds pretty good.
You being in Philadelphia, you need to go to an Italian actual authentic Italian joint.
Well, no, that's why I haven't. Yeah. That's exactly the reason I haven't been to Olive Garden. I'm in Philly, and I go to authentic Italian restaurants now. So I have not been to Olive Garden in years.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So, which one do you want to do first? Do you want to find out which way? Well, I know the guys don't care because they just take it off. But do you want to find out which way women snap their bras on, or do you want to find out, let's see, are black women queens?
You're asking a man if they don't want to talk about bras first? Of course they probably do.
They don't want to talk about bras. They don't care about bras.
First of all, how to put on a bra or what way you put on a bra is a dead topic. Who wants to talk about that?
It wasn't my idea.
Anyway, that's what we're going to talk about.
That was not my idea. That was Kai's idea.
That was my idea. So one day I was sitting there putting on my bra, and I was just wondering because somebody else told me, like, you know, they were showing me how they put on their bra. I put on my bra with the snaps in the front and then turn it around. And apparently the other person puts it on with the snaps in the back and then just puts their hands to the loops, which I think is ludicrous. How do you reach there? So I wanted to know which way is the right way to put on your bra. So that's where that idea came from. And it's not a topic we're going to spend the whole radio show on, good God. But maybe there's somebody like some people like me who were thinking about that, you know? So
just a random thought. Very random thought.
Too much time.
So the results are in. And I'm not listening to you naysayers. Shut up. I put out a post asking which way do most people put on their bra, and the results are in. The results are in, and most people put it on with the snaps in the front and then turn it to the back. However, somebody said the right way is to do it in the back, which I don't agree with because that has to be very uncomfortable.
My arms would hurt. Sorry, can't do that.
Not flexible. It must be not flexible. That's what it is.
Are you done? How many bras have you put on yourself?
Yeah,
exactly.
How many?
So shut up.
Turn it to the front.
Off. You don't have to reach the snaps. You have no idea what we're talking about, so keep your comments to yourself. So anyway.
Well, he might know how to unsnap it.
Take them off.
I'm pretty sure he knows how to unsnap it, Kai.
Okay, real quick question. Dude, did y'all actually have to learn how to, like, take it off? Because I see on movies I don't know, they teach each other how to take it off, or you're supposed to be able to take it off with one hand, or no.
Like a frat brother bonding class.
You can take it off.
So when you first, so Logic, when you first had to take off a bra, was it really awkward for you? Like, were you like, how do I do this?
Damn.
Right.
I don't remember. I don't think so. I don't think I really struggled with it.
There's no struggle.
Of course not.
Or did you just snatch it off? Did you just snatch it off and say, just forget those straps in the back, or what is it, the clips in the back? Just take it off.
No, because I knew they were hooks, so I just kind of just unhooked it. I never really struggled with it. I never got that stereotype of struggling with a bra.
He was a natural guy. That's what it is. He's a natural. One-handed wonder. One-handed wonder.
I knew how hooks work, so I just didn't understand how anybody could struggle with hooks. The hook.
What about you, BJ? The first time, so you were probably a teenager or a young adult. The first time you had to take one off, was it a struggle for you? And don't be shy if it was.
I didn't do the shy. I didn't do the snap. I just pull over her head. You know, do what you do. I ain't got time for the snap.
You pulled it over her head?
Oh yeah. What?
BJ said, "Screw those snaps."
She lifted her arms up. I'm like, let's do what we do.
That's hilarious. I would have never thought of that. That's hilarious. Well, anyway, that was Kai's random thought. So screw everybody who had a problem with it. All right. So next thing I want to talk about, this whole thing, and it annoys me on social media when I see it. They're always saying, you know, black women, wear your crown, and they're talking about your hair, wear your crown, or they're saying, you know, your woman is a queen, treat her like such, and they're not talking about like Asians and actually I think Tyrese had come out and said his woman was a queen or something like that, and black women got offended because she looks white, even though she has black in her, like way, way, way down. But she looks like, something other than black, and black women got offended because he said that's his queen. So my thing is, first of all, what makes black women queens? That's my first question. Second of all, why can't you call anybody a queen? Anybody else a queen? So like if
I do.
If I'm gonna say like if Logic got with a white girl, for instance, and he said that's my queen, why would you get offended that he said this is my queen? So that's my question. So I bring it to the panel. Why do you think they say black women are queens?
Yeah.
Well, I think that comes from a need to feel special, due to everything that's happened with black people, everything that they've had to endure. I think that was something that I don't know where it started, but I think that's something that started to where, to have that instilled pride in something. I.e., a lot of black people wearing kente cloth and not really understanding the significance behind it and not really knowing what it is. The idea of a African flag, quote unquote, you know what I mean? So I think it's just all tools that they use for pride. I think that's where I guess there would be some people that were insulted that some would say that about a non-black person because they feel,
the first time I heard that statement, the black woman's a queen, is after that movie came out, Coming to America. After that movie came out, that's all I started hearing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the first time you heard it?
Yeah, Well, after the movie, first time people started saying it, some of my friends or whatever, I was like, what? I'm a queen. I'm like, what? You're a queen? I was like, whatever. And just right after that movie came out, and 2 months later, all you heard was, I'm a black queen, this. I'm like, oh, man, here we go. Of course, I was dating white women, but, it is what it is.
You said you were dating white women?
Yeah, when that movie came out, yeah.
Your wife or something? Your ex-wife, I mean?
No, she was a girlfriend, but she was one of them.
What difference did that make? What was you?
Wow. No. Because I was just thinking like, oh, okay, yeah, you were probably dating your wife back then because you weren't married yet. That's what I was thinking. It didn't make a difference. I was just calculating the timeline.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay with you, Logic?
No, I mean sometimes you ask questions that is like, well, what does that have to do with what we're talking about? What are you talking about? Oh yeah, who was that? Where did y'all go at?
I'm trying to put it in perspective.
Maybe that was some girl that he was throwing a pipe to at the time. Like, who cares?
Exactly.
The point of the matter was he was with a white girl, and this Coming to America Queen thing came out. That's the point.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Good Lord. All right, I apologize. So, how do y'all feel about that? BJ, I would think that you would more agree that they are queens, or am I wrong?
I don't agree. No, I don't agree. No, to me, women are women, and I call them queens, regardless of color. I don't agree. This to me is like a stamp statement and label somebody. I don't, please. I'm not into that labeling thing. So it doesn't matter to me. I look at them like, okay, a black woman a queen, white woman a queen, Asian woman a queen. Yeah. You can call your girl whatever you want to call her. Whatever. But
I agree. So, Shar, what do you think about like when they say wear your crown, and they're talking about your hair? However, the only reason a lot of black women are wearing their natural hair now is because it's a fad, not because they actually want to, but it's a fad. And usually when people say wear your crown, they're wearing weave in basically they have, I don't want to say white people hair because there are black people with that kind of hair, but they're wearing hair that is not even remotely looks like their hair. But they're telling you to wear your crown, be proud of your crown, all this other stuff. What do you think about that?
I totally agree. If you're going to accept that statement or, live true to it, or if a woman believes that a statement applies to her, then be true to it. Just go completely natural with your own hair. There shouldn't be anything intertwined in that that's not of yourself. That's how I feel. And some women that choose that movement, sometimes I want to say, girlfriend, please go get your hair done. Just because it's natural and that's part of the movement and representative of being proud to be who we are and what textures that we have, the many textures that we should embrace. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I mean, honestly, it's almost like it's an excuse or a pass to just not comb your hair, for weeks at a time. I don't know. At least that's the way it appears to me, So I'm not exactly excited about that movement. Yeah, I love natural
people
hair.
People who do walk out with their hair uncombed is annoying to me. Why do you call it a movement, though?
Yeah,
because like you just said, it's trendy. Every so many years or so, we embrace certain things. Back when my mother or our parents were growing up, dashikis, it was popular for men to maybe wear dashikis, or for the women to wrap their hair more so, or even to wear a complete African garb. Living in Cincinnati. So yeah, I believe it's just a movement for a little while now. And as it really catches on even more so, there's more and more women on YouTube, or even some very young girls who really don't have a clue, with these tutorials about, the natural hair and the natural this and the natural that. So that's why I think it's trendy for a lot of people. I think they're missing the whole concept of why it's important to be proud of who you are, in whatever that would be. You know what I mean? In whatever state your real natural hair is in, be proud of it if that's what you stand for.
Yeah, but the only thing is I think you're misusing the term movement. It's more of a fad. A fad is not a movement. A movement is, for instance, Black Panthers. They were a black movement. They were showing people what black people could do, what black people were about, and trying to maintain the black community. Just following a fad is absolutely the opposite.
Well, initially.
Well, I don't actually agree with that. Sorry. Go ahead, Logic.
What were you saying, Logic?
No, go ahead, Shaw. No. I was just saying it used to be about that, but there's something else now. But go ahead, Shaw.
Well, in the sense, Kai, I do have to correct you there. I do believe it's a movement because some of these people, quite a large number of the women that are looking into the natural or not, it doesn't just stop at their hair. Some of them are concerned about eating healthy, eating clean, eating live foods. Do you see what I mean? Even
that's not a movement. It's still a fad.
No, not if you're growing your own herbs and you're actually giving instructions and tutorials on YouTube as to how to do that successfully and to live healthier.
It's something that people are doing nowadays. It's a fad. If you were doing it before it became popular, then yes, I would say I guess it's your own personal movement. But if you're doing it because everybody else is doing it, then it's a fad. You're part of the fad.
Okay, but what about making your own natural product?
For instance, one of the things that annoys the crap out of me, this whole thing about women painting their nails, every single nail is one color except one. That's a fad.
Yeah,
what are you going to call that a movement? That's a fad. I don't know. I want to slap people when I see that. It annoys the crap out of me.
I don't know.
But anyways, that's a fad, Char. Yeah. Black women wearing their natural hair now, that's a fad. This whole coloring your eyebrows to look like two rectangles, that's a fad.
That's crazy.
I just don't agree. I don't agree. The natural hair movement is part of this representative of who you are, and you're being proud to have this, to be part of that culture.
Sure,
that is
you were
not
doing
a fad.
that before everybody else was doing it, but most of them were not.
No,
they were still making fun of people who had their natural hair.
Yeah, but Kai, people that were part of the Black Panther movement, or any organization where there's you're strong and united to represent something or to come together, they weren't doing that before they weren't doing it. So then how is that not a fad too? Before people started, going with this whole natural movement, before they were going with this whole natural choice, they might have been perming their hair, but it doesn't mean that it's not a movement, because they're getting many other people together to support their concept and to support their theories. It's not that casual to people that are doing this. It's not like, I think I'll just wear my hair natural today. No, this is something that they think and breathe. I mean, it's important to them. I think if you do a little bit more research on YouTube and even online, where a lot of these women are now going and speaking, to large groups of people about why it's important to even to make your own hair gels and tonics. You know that firsthand. Your daughter has her own line of hair products.
Because, Logic, do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I understand. I think she's confusing. Like, natural hair was the symbolism behind it is supposed to be about pride of who you are. And I think at one point it did represent that. However, what Kai is saying, it's become bastardized time where now you just have these people doing it for attention because it is the in thing right now. You know, back in the early 2000s, black girls wasn't rocking afros. You know, it was about getting your weaves and doing that, and that's what Beyonce was doing at that time. Now, if she rocks a afro or something now, it's only to fit in to this narrative of what's going on now, which is this image of black pride, but a lot of people are not actually doing the personal work of life in being proud of being black, like, you know, Cleaver and them were doing back in the day. It's not the same. It's just something that they're putting on and acting like this is what I am, but they're not really understanding the ideology behind it. That's what she's saying.
And even with the natural hair that they're doing, even with the natural hair that they're doing, movement, as you're calling it, most people who have, like, what do you call it, type 4, I think is the number. I don't know. I don't follow the number thing. But the really, really kinky hair, they are always looking for ways to loosen their curls so they can look more like people with mixed hair, for instance. If you're trying to take it back to supposedly this is my roots in Africa and stuff, most Africans don't wear, well, let me put it, back in the day, most Africans don't wear their hair out. You know not to wear your hair out that much because it'll break your hair. So they wear braids and styles such as that. But Americans, with this quote-unquote movement that you're trying to point out, again, they're trying to find a way to keep their hair as curly but not kinky curly as they can and keep it out. And as long as it's flowing and moving and stuff, you know, they're still going on the white initiative. So this is not a movement. Like I said, it's a fad.
Just like with the basketball players with these wild looking hairstyles, straight up like trees. You know what I'm saying? We call them tree styles, whatever. It's, you know, it's different. The same thing. It's a fad. Everybody has the same hairstyle.
Yeah, so it's just a fad. Like I said, now if you had put in, like if you've always had your natural hair or you had a relaxer and the relaxer was just a style for the time and you cut it out and went back to your natural hair, then no, you're not part of the fad. But if you're doing it because everybody else is doing it and your cousin JoJo said, hey, girl, why don't you just cut that relaxer out your hair and go natural? Look at my hair. And so you did it. You're part of the fad. You're part of the sheep, and that's it. I mean, not again, like in one of our past shows where we were talking about are you a lion or are you a sheep? Not everyone can be the lion. It's nothing to be ashamed of, but this is what I'm trying to tell you. You're trying to act it like it's a movement. No, it's a bunch of sheep following possibly one powerful lion that started it. That's it.
Well, but Kai, did you ever think about the fact that there are a lot of black women who are now finding that it's okay to not have to conform to what white society considers to be beautiful when they're frustrated with the hair that
white
they
people
have.
still tell them it's not okay because when you go to work, you see articles about them telling you what's acceptable for black people to wear. You see articles about schools telling black children not to wear their afros because it's disrupting the class. So, no, it's still not acceptable in the white world. So, no, they're doing it because it's a fad. When that fad dies down and everybody goes back to the creamy crack, as you call it, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, because if you look at the original movement when women start rocking afros and stuff like that, they weren't wearing makeup either because they rejected that whole idea of I'm going to make my face up the way other people say that I'm supposed to make my face up, and I'm going to reject your fashion, I'm going to reject your image, I'm going to reject all of this stuff, and I'm going to define myself. These girls, they still wear makeup. They still buy them Coach bags. You know?
If you look Logic, like at the makeup, they're wearing makeup and contouring their face, for instance, to make their nose look slimmer. When they put on, I don't wear makeup, so I don't know what these things are called. I think it's foundation, the thing that changes your skin color. They'll make themselves lighter.
Foundation.
You know what I'm saying? So what are they really embracing? They're not embracing crap. They're still, again, like I said, trying to live up to what white people are. So, anyways, what were you going to say?
No, I was just saying it's a lot of stuff that has been bastardized through time. It's the same thing with the Black Panthers. They started off, just going and taking care of their own neighborhood. They started off actually feeding children. That's what the Black Panther Party was about. And then it kind of went into this, once the Republicans of California started to come at them and try to redefine them as a black terrorist group, then it became more kind of a militant standoff type situation. But now if you look at them, they're black supremacists now. Like they're just as bad to me as you hear these people talking about, the nigger needs to blah. It's the same thing. It's the same kind of racism, except on the opposite end of the spectrum. So, I have no personal respect for the Panther Party, as it was called now. It's bastardized. They got away from what the point was. Same thing with, you see people with dreadlocks. It's the same thing. Dreadlocks, the reason they called it dreadlocks is because it was you were meant to grow your hair, and it would lock up, and all of the negativity and horrible stuff that you feel in life, you push it into your hair. Into your dreads, or all of the dread that you feel in your life and everything. You push all of that negative energy into your hair. And what happens is once you get to a balance in your life where things have kind of mellowed out or gotten better, you cut the dreads off to get rid of all of that negativity and start fresh. So, you're supposed to shave it off. But now people made it a fashion statement. They don't understand the point behind dreadlocks, and that's fine. But don't try to act like, I'm about the dread movement.
Yeah, the dread movement, right? No. But they gotta understand it. Niggas think, okay, well, you're not Rastafarian, so you're just wearing locks. That's what you're wearing locks now. Rastafarian is a whole different thing.
Yeah, I agree. So basically, in closing, it absolutely annoys me when people, black women, say they are queens, say their hair is a crown, run around acting like, I'm your queen, you have to respect me, and all. I couldn't even tell you how much it annoys me. So I wish you all would just stop saying it. Unless you actually born into royalty, shut up.
Kai.
What were you going to say?
Kai, our secretary is listening to the show. She says she's calling in next week to set you straight, and you're absolutely wrong. It's absolutely 100% not a fad. This black hair, this natural movement, as I said, she said it absolutely is a movement, and that your opinions don't make any sense to her. So I told her to call in next week. So woohoo, she's going to be our special guest.
Next week.
I mean, she can call in and she could debate me, but if you see how it started and if you see what's going on now, it's absolutely 100% a fad. I mean, you can call in and tell me how much of a movement it is. I would love to hear your thoughts, but
she said she's going to call in next week. She actually leaves at 4 o'clock Pacific time. That's the only reason. But she goes, oh, my gosh, I want to say something. Oh, my gosh, but I have to go. Let her know. I listen to the show, and I will be calling in next week to set her straight. I said, okay, girlfriend.
Sure, yes. You consider yourself a queen? Do you consider yourself a queen?
I mean, not particularly. I just said yes because I think it's kind of cool if a man says it to me or something. I just think it's because
I would leave a man if he told me that. That's so annoying.
No, well, Kai, black women go through a special type of struggle. Everything is not easy for us, and so for us to be able to get through what we do as black women, it does in a sense make us.
Okay, so you go through a struggle. Just because you went through a struggle, why do you deserve to be called a queen?
So
you went through a struggle, okay?
It's not the same
Everybody goes through struggle.
Black women.
Okay, but that does not
white people do
permit
not go
you to
through
be
the struggle
called a
that we
queen.
do. No, they don't. because we make our way and we get
through you,
through
Shar.
it.
I have a question for you, Shar. What struggle have you been through?
As a black woman,
that's maybe different from a white person. I'm listening.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the honest God truth. I've never really been discriminated, at least that I personally feel that I have.
Then
I just
shut
haven't.
the hell
but
up.
I know that
like
my
I
family
said,
and friends
you
have.
don't need to be called a queen. Black women do have more of a struggle, I do agree. But just because you've gone through a struggle does not permit you to be called a queen. And Shar, shut the hell up. You have not been through any kind of struggle. So what are you trying to argue?
My family and friends have. I didn't know. I honestly haven't. Even as an actress, like I've never been discriminated because I was a black person. And half the time they didn't want a black person when I was growing up and I was in the business like that. So, now it's like every other movie you see a black person. Thank God there's a lot of workforce now. But I never went through that. In relationships, I don't, like even, dating, there's some men who do have a stereotype, oh, I don't date such as, dark-skinned women, all this kind of stuff. No, I've never been through any of that, but I do, my friends and family have, and I see it, and it hurts me to see them go through that. They get discriminated against on a regular basis for whether it's at the workplace, whether it's relationships, friendships, or whatever it is. It's a shame, and white people don't go through that. They don't. Any white people out there that want to call in, give me your best shot.
Yeah, any white people who think they've actually gone through a struggle and they disagree with Shar, please go ahead and call in or message us on Facebook.
That's the debate. That's the debate I got into. Like it was this white guy that I was talking to one time. He was saying that he didn't believe that the white privilege thing was real. And I asked him, what do you base that off of? And he was like, because I had to work for everything I have in my life, and no one's ever. I said, white privilege is not money.
Nope.
I said it's not. I said.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I said because you're living as a white person. I said, this is gonna sound funny. I said, but your whiteness is the reason why it's hard for you to be kind of conceive of what people are talking about. I said, when you're a young kid growing up, and everyone you see in positions of prominence or on TV or on the radio, if every one of them looks like you or looks like your uncle or, share some kind of common thing where it's just white people everywhere you see, everywhere you go. It's just, I said, that is something that is going to not make you feel like you have a limitation in life. I said, but as a black kid or, you are growing up and you don't see this image. Like every image you see of yourself is a lot of times negative. Like a black person on a show will be the one that's the goofball or, images of promiscuity or I say even like with rapping right now, rap has taken this area of either, again, promiscuity or gangster images and stuff. Not all, because there are a lot of conscious, positive black rappers like that. But, I said in shows and movies and stuff, there's criminal elements. So you don't really see anything positive. I said like the Cosby Show was the first time you really saw like a positive image of a black person on television. You know what I mean? I said, so understand how psychologically limiting that is. I said, and it's not your fault. It's just a aspect of life that you don't have to contend with. You don't have to sit your kids down and explain to them why, when you go out here, this is the reason that some people are going to treat you this way. There is no skin thing that you have to teach your kids about. You want to teach your kids to work hard and do what you got to do, and the sky's the limit. I said, but there's a different method of teaching that black people have to do, because sometimes if you have a nice car and you're in the wrong neighborhood, you might get messed with because they don't feel that you belong there. I said, you can pretty much go where you want, up and move. I said, if I love the mountains, I can't just up and move to Montana because now I have to worry about how my kids are going to get treated in school. Or I got to worry about if these people are going to spit in my drink because they don't like my skin color and you lost, boy. I said, that's real.
Yeah.
White people largely don't have to worry about that. You can go anywhere you want and be treated. I said, I can't even go to different countries. Like if I move to Japan or something like that, well, Japan's a bad thing because Japanese people treat everybody that's not Japanese like garbage. But, you know, like if I up and just move to Russia, doesn't matter how good my Russian gets, they're going to still be able to look at me and say, he's this, or I know he's not us. And for that, we will continuously reject this person. I said, a white person can blend if they go to the right areas. I said, even Africans will be more quicker to accept you than to accept me. Because they look at white people like, yeah, this is okay with me. You know, but, he's a black African. I'm better than him just because of the continent that he was born in. You know, I said, so that's the difference. I said, not to say that there's something that you did that's wrong and you're whatever. I said, but just the fact that you have that's the privilege. You know, it's not your fault. It's something intangible half the time. But it's real. It is real. So I think that's something people confuse as well.
And I would like to talk to somebody who maybe disagrees with that. You know, get somebody on that maybe disagrees with that and doesn't see, basically our point.
And this dude, it's funny because this dude was like a Spanish guy. He said, "Well, I go through the same thing."
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I said, but you're from Puerto Rico, right? That's where your parents is from? He was like, well, yeah, my parents are from Puerto Rico. I said, right. So if you just decide to move to Puerto Rico, you're accepted because you're Puerto Rican. You have somewhere to go. We don't know where we come from because you're not, even though Puerto Ricans are black people as well, they don't want to admit that, but they still have a nation to claim. Same thing with islanders. Islanders feel they're better than continental black people because they have an island that they claim to try to act like, well, that's where I'm from. You're the same bastards that we are, but you just didn't move off of the island where they were seasoned and slaves at. That's the only difference. And that's Mexicans and Colombians and wherever you come from. You have a nation to claim. Same thing with Asians. Asians will say, I get treated whatever. But Chinese people don't run around calling themselves Asian. They call themselves Chinese. Because they know where they come from. I'm Korean. I'm not Chinese. I'm Korean. I'm not. They get upset.
Yeah, they correct you.
Go ahead and call a Cambodian a Thai person, and they will be ready to cut you. What? No, Cambodian. No.
Yeah, I mean, we did have a show, and I know a lot of our new listeners missed it, but we did have a show about how Caribbeans think about Black Americans, and an African was actually supposed to come on, but he chickened out. So.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, C was on that show. That was C. C was on that show. Remember, guys?
Yeah.
It got real
was
heated.
That the show that C just lost it on us?
Yep.
Yeah, listeners, you need to go back in our archives. You need to find that show. Our old host, her name was C. She totally lost it, and she was saying that she wasn't racist against Black Americans, but then when she got angry and she totally lost it, she started calling Black Americans monkeys and stuff. So
I was like, damn.
And she has since gotten married and is living happily and graduated from college and living happily ever after. Moved right along with her life, but she left a trail of dust with words Black Americans. And that was a crazy show. She got a lot of callers and texts and emails or what.
Yeah. We've had a couple crazy shows, and that was one of them. So y'all need to go back in our archives.
I guess that queen found her king.
Right. Another islander, mind you.
and no, her king. He's Black American.
He's not an islander. Oh, good. I just want to hear you say it. Okay. Okay, cool.
You just wanted to hear me say it. I did say it.
You know what though? If you think about it, if you think about it, isn't that worse?
Mm-hmm.
If we come from a nation of kings and queens, how did we get conquered and get over here? If we were all royalty.
Exactly.
I always say that to these black people who are racist against white people and sitting there trying to act like, black people started everything. I always say that. Well, how did y'all get so fooled and conquered and this is where you are now? I always want to know that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we only have 14 minutes left, and I do want to get into this question. Do you think many women are whores, like nowadays, because their fathers are not in their lives? And let me read this that one of our listeners messaged in, because they saw the topic of the show, and they messaged in like way back when the show first started. So they said, whores, men and female, are a product of the company that they keep. My father and father monitored my friends and their families. You can't say don't, because then they will do it. So I guess she just says, I guess what she means is that, yeah, if your parents aren't in your lives or aren't doing what, raising you correctly and looking out to who you're hanging around with, then you become a product of your environment. So that's what our listeners say. What do y'all think? Do women nowadays more loose and open because a lot of fathers are not in their lives?
I think I do know fathers. You can be open. You can be open and wild with both parents in your life. It doesn't matter. I mean, it depends on the individual, and the company you keep. You can have the strictest parents, which they're actually the worst kind, because the girls or the guys, they go out and do what they want to do. And you have the ones that's more lenient. They still do what they want to do. So it doesn't matter. You're going to you have choices to make, and you make that choice, so it is what it is.
So you don't think it's the parent at all. You think it's just the individual.
Like I said, yeah, right. It could be the parent. The parent could be strict on them. The parent could be lenient on them. But it's just the individual. You make that choice. And that's the parents ain't in their life, period. You go, with the grandparents, because how the grandparents do, it's still that choice. As you make that choice of who you hang around with. You have a choice to make. It's not always over the parents all the time. It's that choice. The choice.
I don't really agree with that.
Really
well, let me say this. One of our listeners messaged in and said, my father was never in my life, and I'm far from a whore. They're loose and open because they're loose and open.
Thank you. All right.
I just don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Really? I think that a father is very important as a positive. Well, I'm talking about fathers that are really there for their daughters. Okay,
we didn't say it wasn't important. See, there you go. Come back to earth. We didn't say it wasn't important.
Well, sir, if I may expand with your permission, sire, if I may expand upon my thought, I believe that fathers that are in their daughters' lives growing up. Okay, you know how they say daddy's girl? Well, a lot of these good fathers do instill integrity into their daughters. And it's important for their daughters to know how they should and should not be treated and how they should respect themselves and their bodies and what type of decisions that they should make in relationships and in friendships, and even what they should and should not do as they are introduced to temptation or what have you. These girls are told this every single day. Respect yourself. You do not open your legs for this one and that one. A lot of the women that don't have fathers, no, it doesn't mean that they're going to be helter-skelter, but a lot of times they'll think about it. When you have a positive influence that's a man, if you can't find anybody else to care about you to your last days, your father will be there for you if he was always there in your life. That's the man. That's the only man that should really matter, opposed to just having a man.
A question came in for you.
Do I have a father?
Okay, what about
right?
A question came in for you, Shar. Okay, what about the good fathers and mothers who have kids who are whores? I'll wait. That's what the question said.
Okay, I just said a moment ago, I said I'm not saying that if you don't have a father that you can't even be a good person, and so vice versa. Of course there's a few that slip through the cracks. Of course there is. But think about it. When you have a positive influence in your life every day telling you and reminding you and persuading you or coaching you or just supporting you and saying, I am a man, and this is how a man should treat you, with respect and with integrity, or have integrity before yourself, and what you should and should not do with your body, and to make positive choices. If you don't have someone there to guide you, to support you, that's a male influence at any point of your life, then you might lean on relationships and boyfriends or random screwing and think that's actually,
if you get that
something
positive
special.
from that positive thing from the father that way each day of your life. It depends on how that father say it. He can say it like a dictator, which would be a bad way, or he can say it like a loving father. So it depends on the father,
A loving father was the only example that I gave. That's the only example. I wasn't thinking of a dictator.
What about the dictatorship father that gives you that same speech? What do you think the child turned out that way?
Okay, well, you would think they really wouldn't be loose because they're scared. They were always told, don't you do it, don't you do it, don't you do it. So either fashion,
really?
I still believe can have probably a lot more positive results than if they didn't have that support from that male figure, as they're growing up, and even after that. Even to see them off to marriage where they're being given away to a man for the rest of their life. It does matter. Now, it's unfortunate. A lot of us don't have a father. I get it. But trust me, if you had a choice, you would choose to have a father as a child, as an adult, period, in your life, to be there for you when no other man can do anything he said he was going to do. Your father, a real father, will always be there for his little girl. Always. And those women a lot of times do have success stories. They're not whores. And I'm not saying some of them aren't, but a lot of them are not.
I think it partly does have to do with what your parents instill in you. But I also think it's the individual. You can only blame your parents for so much and for so long. Once you're old enough, once you're an adult, you know what's right and wrong. You should know how to control yourself. So, I think it's only partly the parents' fault, what they instill in the person in childhood, what environment they were exposed to. However, it's I'll say it's 90% the individual's fault. You know that you shouldn't be running around sleeping with a bunch of men, or men sleeping with a bunch of women, or nowadays men sleeping with men and women sleeping with women, whatever. But you know it's wrong. However, again, and I would love for that other listener to tell me that this is a movement. However, nowadays, because it's a fad for people to be so loose-legged, and when I say loose-legged, meaning you can't keep your legs closed, for people to be so loose-legged, and if you are loose-legged, you say you're slut-shaming and everything like that. Because it's a fad and because everybody else is doing it, they've jumped on the bandwagon. And, what can a parent do? Even if your parent is sitting there telling you that you shouldn't be doing that, you should wait for marriage, et cetera, if you have a weak-minded individual, they're going to do what society is doing.
And you got your friends that's on Tinder, you want to go on Tinder. Right. And that's with a POF thing. That's exactly, Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, especially now, and I would love to talk to millennial, but especially now as I understand it, millennials prefer the one-night stand than dating. They don't want to deal with the whole relationship thing.
Commitment,
So they're even more loose than our generation.
They all did.
Wow.
They all good.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Shar, is that a movement?
Yeah, I actually think it is. I mean, yeah. And of course it's specified.
I don't think Shar understands.
It's specified to a certain.
I don't think Shar understands the definition of it.
It's specified to a certain age group. Millennials are obviously around 30 to 34 or 26 to 32 or something. They were born within a certain year to a certain year. But so that's why they would probably think a little differently. But what happens as they get older? Wouldn't you think that their ideas would change? And maybe they wouldn't feel to be so loose or so open? Why not? They won't even be millennials at that point. Why not?
So you think they're just the way they are because they're millennials, and they'll always be millennials. That's their generation. What are you talking about?
Well, that's true. It's just like, but still, they're going to get older. But they're going to get older. But at some point, they're going to get older.
Get older doesn't mean you automatically get sense in your head. You're just an older idiot. That's all.
Exactly.
An older idiot. Okay, well, I can't argue with that. There's a lot of older idiots out there.
Look at all these women out here now. Look at all these women. Okay, Halle Berry, for instance. Allegedly, because I don't want her suing us for slander. Allegedly. She's, 50? In her 50s? Can't hold a man for nothing.
51. Yeah.
She still she's 51, has no sense. She has now, 3 children, no men in her life?
But that's not because of the same reason.
Well, that doesn't mean that she can't. No sense, but...
She can't keep a man because she's nutty as squirrel shit. You know what I mean?
What I'm pointing out is Char's thinking that you just suddenly get sense when you get older. I'm just pointing out people who still don't. Char, for instance, what are you, 50, 49 and a half? You're still talking about a half. 7-year-old, stop that. You were with a guy that was younger than me. As you're 50, you should have had sense to know I shouldn't be with this guy, or if he's treating me a certain way, I should leave. You don't get older and just automatically have sense. You're just an older version of yourself. That's all it is.
I mean, okay, I agree, but I've always dated younger guys, so that wouldn't have told me anything. It just so happened that he was abusive and crazy and stuck in himself.
No, I'm not saying that dating a younger guy is the issue. The issue is, first of all, that the guy was your son's age. The second issue, which was the main issue, is the first time you saw any kind of negative, whatever coming off of this guy, like he's not working, or he's about to hit you, or he's yelling at you, or he's talking to you any kind of way, if he's going through your phone, anything like that, you should have chunked the deuce at him. Being an older woman.
Well, here's the other thing. But you guys have to remember,
an older woman, you should have known this.
But Kai, here's another thing. Obviously, I was having a moment because remember he was trying so hard to have a baby too at my age with him. What was I thinking? So yeah, I probably lost my rocker for a really good year. I mean, every bit of a year.
and then we pointed out to you that you should not be in a relationship. Get to know yourself and love yourself and blah 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 with yourself first. And next thing you know, 2 months later, you were in a relationship.
No, it was 6 months. No, I waited 6 months. No, I waited 6 months. No, I did.
Does not mean a bolt of lightning and maturity strikes you. You're just the older version of yourself, still doing the same dumb shit. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, before we close out in 3 minutes,
I waited my 6 months, and I'm not doing dumb shit now.
Anyway, before we close out in this next 3 minutes, I do want y'all to go to our relationship health question and answers, and this goes to our host also. We do have a question on there that came in this morning. Question: my husband went abroad a few months ago for a business trip. Yes, I know, for a business trip with his colleague. I just found out that he had an affair with one of his coworkers while he was on that trip. I feel so broken, and I don't know how to confront him about this. Now, BJ did answer it. His answer was, see, BJ, if you had just waited, his answer was, first, make sure you have your facts right, not the he said, she said crap. Then sit with your husband and have that conversation and go from there. Good luck. So if you want to give this listener advice, what do you think, or has this ever happened to you, and how did you deal with it? Go to our relationship question and answers Facebook group. If you have a question, you can go ahead and post it on there. However, if you are shy about, you don't want to show your face or whatever, you could always just inbox any one of the hosts, Kai, Shar, Logic, or BJ, and we'll post it on there anonymously for you. How do you say anonymously, Shar?
What did you say?
Unanimously.
Say it.
Unanimously?
You just said, Kai just said unanimously. That's what you just said.
No, I didn't. I want you to say it. I said it the way I said it on purpose. How do you say it, Shar?
Oh, I was just saying it the way you said it.
No, that's the way you said it, Shar.
Unanimously. I don't know. Now it sounds like that's the right way.
Charism. Soon we'll hang up our shirts, our hoodies, our jackets, our mugs with Charisms on it. So look out for that. We'll be selling that on our website pretty soon. And you too can rock a Char word. So next week, apparently we're going to have a secretary calling in to tell me about the fad. I'll still stick to saying it's a fad, about black women and their hair.
The movement.
I'm going to try.
She has her natural hair.
Okay. I have my own natural hair, but I've had it since before any of this started. So what's your point? Anyways, I'm going to try and see if I can get anybody, a white person on to see if they, if they think that they struggle like other races or do they believe in white privilege. We're also going to get our winner of the Breaking the Stereotype contest on Instagram. So hashtag Breaking the Stereotype or hashtag BTS. So we're going to do a winner next week. And answering your relationship questions. Again, we're on iHeartRadio. Woohoo! Thanks, listeners. Thanks for joining us tonight. Peace out, everyone. Now here goes Char's exit. Let's go. Just try to get it over.
Now that's our iHeart clap. Everyone have a fantastic week. Signing off from Las Vegas. Be safe.
I know that's the moon. The moon.
Toodaloo.
Oh, God.